is it's a live edition of the Fan in the Van podcast. Um, right now, Pittsburgh, right now, this off season, I got to give it an A. As of right now, you get Russell Wilson on a friendly deal. That's one. You address the defense. You bring in Deshaun Elliott. You get Patrick Queen. You trade Deontay. You recoup picks. You get Dante Jackson. So then you address another issue. You now get Justin Fields. And shame on Chicago again, because you got fleeced not once, but twice by Omar Khan. You know damn well that you did. You know it. And the thing I love most is if you think this is going to a fourth round draft pick from a sixth, it's not. Fields has already come out. He's not gonna try to battle for the number one spot. He's willing to sit back for a year, let Russell do his thing, and then after that, Russell will be, whether Russell stays or not is a whole different story. But getting Justin Fields is absolutely friggin' huge. You know, for those who watched the Garden Sports last night, I already said with the moves the Steelers are making and they're not done, AFC North champs is this year. This is the year they got to do it. The Steelers are breaking out from the narrative of just being stagnant and just staying comfortable. They're going outside the norm. They're going, you know, they're breaking away from the old ways of doing things. Omar Khan has got full autonomy to do as he pleases within the confines of the money of which they have in the cap. You know, pretty much Art Rooney told him, do what you got to do. We can't keep going through this year in, year out, one and done, you know, being 500, you know, just being barely over 500. We can't have that no more. We absolutely can't. And if you're a Steeler fan right now, you are rejoicing to the high heavens about this move. Because for every Bears fan that thought you were going to get a second, a fourth, and a sixth for Justin Fields, and it's not a knock on Justin Fields, it's just, again, teams didn't view him as the guy who's going to turn the franchise around. They didn't view him as a guy who could possibly start for them. It is what it is on that front. And it's just gotten that much better if you're a Steeler fan right now. It's gotten that much better. And I am here for it. This was the year they had to make all these moves. You had to trade Deontay away. Trading Kenny Pickett, it only made sense. You know, listen, Kenny didn't do enough to warrant to stay being the starter. I think even Kenny Pickett knows it, and I think Kenny would still be a Steeler if he handled it a bit differently. If he had welcomed Russell in and was like, okay, listen, you know what, I understand, I'm not living up to my potential. Maybe I could learn how to do this, and this from him. That's fine. But he didn't. This all attributes back to last year when he was coming back from injury. He didn't want to dress up as the third-string quarterback. And these are the things that Omar Khan's looking at, and he's just sitting there going, all right, well, if you don't want to be a team player, you're getting traded. You don't want to be a team player, you're getting traded. Deontay requested his trade, okay? He requested it. He wanted to go to Kansas City. Listen, this isn't how trades work. You don't determine where you're getting traded to. I mean, could you have done Deontay for L'Jarius Sneed, flip-flop picks, do whatever? Sure, you could have done that. But then you're keeping Deontay in the conference. You're keeping him in the AFC, and the Steelers wanted nothing to do with that. So your best bet is you ship him off to a team that needs wide receiver help. Not like Kansas City doesn't need it. They do, even though they signed Marquise Brown, which I don't think is going to be an improvement at all. But you trade him to a team that's willing to unload something you need. And could the Steelers have gotten better draft picks out of it? Absolutely. But I just think that they said, listen, whatever we got to do to get it done, whatever picks you're willing to give, we'll take. That's it. You get Deontay, we get Dante Jackson, we get this round, whatever it is, blah, 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 just get it done. Listen, I'm all for it. I am all for this offseason. I am, unlike Dallas, Pittsburgh is all in. It's just as simple as that. They're all in. How could you not be? I mean, since if you look at it from this perspective, since Ben, Kenny Pickett has only put up, at best, out of the 34 touchdowns, maybe 16 tops. Going from a guy who threw for 25 to 30 every season like clockwork. And for the Steeler fans that are upset that Kenny Pickett got traded, listen, it's business. It's pure business. If you're a Bears fan that's upset that Fields got traded, it's business. It's nothing personal. It's what's best for business, and that's pretty much that. You got to accept it for what it is. Bottom line, you could sit there, you can piss, bitch, moan, burn your Fields jerseys, do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, the Bears decided that they were going to build around Caleb Williams. Me and Garrett actually were recording Steel and Teal earlier when all this broke. So when that episode comes out Monday, you'll get the live reaction. But why didn't Chicago do this with Fields? Like, you could have built around Justin Fields and then decide from there whether Fields is the problem in Chicago or not. You could have figured it out then. Because Chicago didn't do enough in Fields' time here to build around them. And you can go back even further. They didn't really do much with Mitch either. But Justin Fields now is in a perfect situation. Because he sits for a year. He gets to learn the Steeler system as Russell's learning it. And whether they extend Russell Wilson or not. Because don't forget, the Steelers have, I think, till May 2nd to pick up the fifth-year option on Justin Fields. Which, if they do, that's great. If they don't, then maybe they're going to work out a long-term extension. I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there as far as that. But, these are the moves that had to be made. Trading Deontay. Listen, a lot of people love Deontay. I was a fan of Deontay Johnson when he wasn't doing the nonsense he was doing, like not trying to jump on a fumble or, running routes backwards or doing whatever it is. And I think he got a lot of unfair criticism, and I think he got a lot of fair criticism. I think they kind of level each other out. But, again, in that situation alone, Deontay's extension that he just gotten is up at the end of this year. So I don't think the Steelers had any intention of re-signing him. He wanted out. I think he knew the Steelers weren't going to do it. So what do? You trade for what you can get. That's what you got to do. That's the business of sports. For those who, again, we've said it at nauseum since Josh Jacobs went to Green Bay. You guys question the loyalty of the player, but question the loyalty of the team as well. There's people out there saying, the Steelers did Deontay dirty. I don't think they did him dirty. You want me to be honest? Did the Bears do Justin Fields dirty? It's a matter of opinion. I'm not a Bears fan, so I couldn't really tell you. Other Bears fans can tell you, yeah, they did him dirty. Listen, from an outsider looking in, I like what Justin Fields brings to the table. I've been watching him since Ohio State. I think he can be a good NFL quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to put up Hall of Fame numbers, but is he a guy in the right system with the right weapons and an offensive line to protect him? Can he be the guy that gets you to the playoffs consistently? Yes, he can. And now he has that chance to do that and flourish in Pittsburgh. And Bears fans are going to be sitting there pissed at their GM, pissed at ownership because they traded him away for a 6-rounder that's not going to turn into a 4th-rounder because barring any type of injury to Russell Wilson, Fields has got to play 51% of the snaps. So if Wilson stays healthy, he's playing none unless it's a blowout going into the 4th quarter and then they just throw Fields in. And in that case, he's not even going to get anywhere close to 51%. So it'll stay a 6th-round draft pick. Thanks again, Chicago, for doing dumb business. The Chicago Bears, when it comes to this, are the smartest dumb people in the business because you got fleeced when we traded Claypool to get the 32nd pick, which, again, got us Joey Porter Jr. We now get Justin Fields. Omar Khan is taking his boat, and he's rocking it to places we've never thought it can go. And I'm all here for it. I'm going to be honest. I'm here for it. I love it. I love the Patrick Queen signing. I'm with the shits on it. To be quite honest, I am with the shits on it. Um, you know, Broncos fans aren't happy because everybody on that team now is a cap casualty because you got $85 million in dead cap space because of the money owed to Russell Wilson. And even when you look at that, you would be a fool to not sign him to a vet minimum deal of 1 year, knowing he wasn't going to rob you of money because he's getting paid 37 plus from Denver. So when you take whatever the Steelers are giving him, whatever incentives I'm sure are in there, he's making well over 40 plus million. I don't think he was going to take more. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at what Chicago gave up for Justin Fields, you know, there's Giants fans out there. Why couldn't we do that? And you know what? That's a good question. Why didn't the Giants do it? You have buyer's remorse with Daniel Jones. You know, we said it last night on Cigar and Sports. They have buyer's remorse. You know, do you draft J.J. McCarthy with the 6th pick? Do you try to maybe trade up and maybe get Penix Jr. or, you know, Jaden Daniels? I don't know, but it's one of those. I think Omar Khan knew he can get this done, and he waited it out. He waited it out till the Bears had no choice to make the move. Because before you know it, the draft's going to be here. You're not going to go into the draft with Fields still on the roster, and then you draft Caleb Williams, because then it's like you have a whole nother set of drama going on. So, you know, you're not going to do that at all. You're not going to do that. So you had to trade him. Chicago, I think, realized from all the teams they reached out to and from the reports, you're not getting a 2nd, you're not getting a 4th, you're not getting a 3rd. You know, it's maybe a 5th at best. And the Steelers knew that. And Omar Khan said, all right, listen, you know you're not getting a 2nd, you know you're not getting a 3rd, you know you're not getting a 4th. I'll give you a 6th. I'll give you a 6th, and if he plays whatever, you know, he plays at the 51% of the snaps, it moves up to a 4th. And we know that's not happening. Again, it's just not going to happen. Again, like I said before, barring any injury, knock on wood, Russell stays healthy. Now the question is, who do they now pursue next? Because you have the reports out there. Obviously, the Niners are trying to either shop Ayuk or Debo because their cap situation is a tricky one at best. With Ayuk, he's kind of like a one-trick pony, but he's a decent wide receiver. I would honestly try to get Debo because you can utilize him in all different package sets. You know, you could use him as a wide receiver. You can use him as a running back. You can use him in so many different ways, unlike Ayuk, that you can't do that with. So that's another report that's been out there. You know, getting Debo could be a possibility in Pittsburgh. You may have to give up a little bit higher of a draft pick to get Debo. You may have to take the rest of the deal that with the money that's owed to him. So maybe you give a lesser pick, take the money in return. I'm sure if it happens, Omar Khan will figure out a way, because you're not going to fleece San Francisco. There's just no way about it. But you got Bears fans out there, and they're kind of mixed on this. You know, you got people like, well, why are you building for an unknown in Caleb Williams? And you have every right to say that. You have every right to ask that question. Even I'm asking it. You know, some people, outsiders looking in, like myself, like Garrett, like E-Man, like Aaron, Brent, and Dave, we really don't know what the hype is around Caleb Williams. Like, to me, he's not the guy that's going to turn the Bears around. Granted, when you look at it from this perspective, from a financial standpoint, you do go cheaper with Caleb Williams because it's a rookie deal. So you reset everything. Okay? But you lost Darnell Mooney, but you traded for Keenan Allen. So you got DJ Moore as running mate. You know, you brought in Gerald Everett to complement Cole Kmet. Like, they made moves that they had to make. But in the back of everyone's mind, it's like, why wouldn't you do this for Fields? And let's see if Fields is the problem, or is this an organizational problem that maybe ownership has to look and go, we're not doing this kid any justice. And now you'll never get to know if Justin Fields was the problem, at least in Chicago. We could maybe find that out in Pittsburgh, which I would hate to find out that, hey, you know, maybe he's not the guy. Like everybody thought Kenny was going to be the guy, and then Kenny wasn't the guy. And, you know, I've had people, you know, when the Kenny Pickett trade happened, I had people messaging me like, haha, you had all belief in this guy. Well, yeah, I thought he could be the guy. I didn't say he was going to be the guy year 1, year 2. I said you had to at least give him 3 years. But now even Kenny Pickett goes to a situation where he has no way of starting unless Jalen Hurts is out for the whole year at some point. It's the only way Kenny's going to start, because we've all seen Jalen Hurts play hurt. And, you know, but I got asked by somebody, you know, on Instagram where, who do I think is the, you know, really, like, he was like, do you blame Kenny Pickett for getting traded? I think, if Kenny handled it differently and said, listen, I understand the road the organization's going down. You know, I was given the opportunity. I didn't live up to the expectations. You know, because Ryan Clark said it best, the Steelers are built on excellence. And the Kenny Pickett is not a part of that. And people are getting at Ryan Clark for it. Well, apparently Ryan Clark was right. And apparently the Steelers feel the same way, because Kenny Pickett's gone. And listen, everybody wanted him because he's a Pitt guy, and you know the whole attachment, and you know, in that regard. But at the end of the day, you know, I didn't think he would get traded as quickly as it happened. If anything, I thought it might have been like a draft day trade, but it happened now. It is what it is. But you know, again, I'm excited as could be for Justin Fields to be a Steeler now. I'm excited for Patrick Queen to be a Steeler. I'm excited for Russell Wilson to be a Steeler, and whoever else they bring in. Again, they're not done. And you still have the draft. And now they don't have much to address left. All they have to do is address a part of the secondary and a center. And that's about it. And, well, and now you got to get another weapon for Wilson and Fields as far as wide receiver. Either they draft it or they go and trade for it. But either which way, they are going to get a weapon for him. But with that being said, I figured I'd pop on real quick, do a quick little live. It's been a minute, so make sure you check out the latest Cigar and Sports. Steel and Teal will be up Monday. A new Fan in the Van will be done on Tuesday, where I'll go a little more in depth into a lot of the free agency like we've already been doing. So for those who check this out, thank you. For those who have been supporting, thank you. And with that being said, stay safe. And as always, peace.